This is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. In today's 101.5 lesson, we are going to talk about ideas. I have been asked many times through the years, where do you get your ideas? Well, I'm going to share that with you today and kind of give you a walkthrough on a little bit of a history of CM and how our idea sheets have kind of evolved. Not a true history. I'm not going back all the way to old CM, but a little bit of the evolution and then all the different kinds of ideas that we put out, because we do put out a lot of them and sometimes they're hard to differentiate between. And we're going to talk about some new things that just came out, so I'm excited. But the first thing we're going to discuss, and I'm just going to sort of preface this because I've already recorded the video portion of this, is the idea of books that CM puts out generally annually, or at least for the last 3 years, we've gotten one almost every year, pretty much every year, I think. They usually come out in the fall, September, October time period to celebrate the CM birthday. And they are wonderful additions to your inspiration if you have them. But once they are gone, and there's no way for us to get them again. I do currently have 5 extra of the last one. So if you are in search of the last one, which is the 52 project recipes, let me know and we can arrange to get that to you. Just send me an email. The email's in the description of this video, and I'll be happy to help you get that. I don't have any copies of the other ones other than my own, so I can't help you with those. But there might be advisors out there that still have copies of older ones. You would just have to ask. So let's check out my workspace and we'll go through this really quick. This video is not long, so I hope it's informative and helpful to you and able to explain some things that maybe weren't clear before, or just give you some new ideas of where you can find your inspiration. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's check out my workspace and we'll get started. All right, so this is my workspace for today, and we wanted to talk about some organizational things, and mostly organizing your ideas. So if you have been following CM for the last several, well, probably 3 or 4 years, then you probably have some of these in your arsenal. These are the idea books that we started off with, and we give you ideas. CM Creative Memories gives you ideas in many different forms. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is all the different types of ideas that are out there and why they're out there, and how you can use them. So they came out with this 110 scrapbooking ideas and sketches to celebrate the CM birthday a few years ago, and it was fantastic. But you can see right off, if you open it up, that it's really designed for a more experienced scrapbooker, because all of the sketches, though they look awesome and they're great at inspiring you and giving you ideas, there's no measurements included. And so many of our scrapbooking, in our scrapbooking community, were having a difficult time creating these because they had to come up with their own measurements and modify them however they needed to for their pages, which a more experienced scrapbooker can do relatively easily, although it takes a little time. But a brand new scrapbooker, a brand new person to scrapbooking would have a hard time creating this layout without having more to go on. So the next year they came out with this book right here, the 101 Scrapbooking Ideas and Sketches. And this book is handy because they included measurements for all the different pieces on the different layouts. So not only do you have a color photograph, like in this book, of a sample of the layout put together, but in the sketch that is grayscale, you also have these measurements, which help you know which pieces go where. In the back of this book also there are fast formulas. So fast formula cuts for the 12 by 12 album pages, fast formula cuts for the um, happy albums that are 6 3/4 by 10-inch pages, and then also for the 8 by 8s, okay, which give you a main cutting guide and then several different ideas for ways you can lay those pieces together differently to create many different layouts. And that allows you to do an album really super quick without needing to follow necessarily a detailed layout sketch. So that's a fun book to have. And then this one came out last year, last fall for the CM birthday. And this one has 52 of our project recipes included in it. And the project recipes that are in this book, they have put together using alternative collections. So each time we create a new collection of papers on a different theme, that collection of papers has a project recipe created for it. Those project recipes are interchangeable. You can use any collection of papers, any embellishments with any project recipe. And so these are done with different collections than they were originally designed for, just to illustrate the fact that you can use any paper collection with any project recipe, and you get the everything that you would normally get in the project recipe. You get the cutting guide, you get the step-by-step instructions, the list of ingredients and things you can add to it, the different photo sizes that they used in the project recipe. You get a color sample of a finished product, and you get the sketch that basically shows you all in a color-coded fashion and lettered by piece how to put that layout together. So those are super helpful, and we've really enjoyed using project recipes through the years. And many times, if you are printing your project recipe out, or you've received one because you went to an event and the advisor printed that project recipe and passed it out to everyone, you may have come home, and if you were brilliant, you found some way of keeping it and being able to refer back to it later at another time. Not everyone is able to do that. That's Archie. I'm actually recording this at my National Scrapbook Day event, so if you hear things in the background, it's because there are ladies scrapbooking all around me, which is fun. But now we've come out with our own binder for you to keep all of those handouts that you're given or printouts that you receive because you ordered something. If you bought the Buy It All bundle, then you received maybe a project guidebook along with it. And so this binder will allow you to keep those things all in one place. And I love this because I have had binders that I have filled to the brim through the years, and just as a handy reference when I get stuck for an idea. They're wonderful. And so that's what this is meant to do. This comes with all of the dividers that you see here. There's 6 dividers, one for project recipes, one for project playbooks, one for guidebooks, one for virtual crop sketches, one for blog projects, and one for what they call creative extras. So if you get a sketch or something that someone has created and they share with you, you can put it in that area. Many people are taking these and getting extra binders and using the binders for maybe two of these in a binder, or just one even. Some of them have enough to fill a full binder for one topic. So it depends on what you've got, but start with one. If you've got a bunch of these laying around, 3-hole punch them and put them in here. You can also right now receive all of the project recipes that were put out in 2024 in these beautifully printed pages, and in addition to all of the project recipes for all the collections that came out in 2024, you can also get a copy, very nicely printed, of all of the virtual crop sketches from 2024. So that I love that, because you guys know I try to do all the virtual crop sketches in are on my channel, so that you have a way of doing those if you're stumped for how it goes together. And so that's helpful. This year, Creative Memories has also added a couple of new things to our instructional um, collection. And those are playbooks and guidebooks. And so I thought I would talk to you a little bit about the difference between those. When you purchase a project playbook, and these can be bought on their own, or I think if you buy the Buy It All bundle, they come with them. That I may be getting it confused with the guidebook. Anyway, um, when you buy the Buy It All bundle, you do get either the playbook or the guidebook along with it. But they can also be purchased separately until they're gone, and then your advisor that you work with can print them for you, because they can be obtained digitally, which is nice. But the playbook's purpose is mainly to inspire you to use the product. It's not going to show you how to use every bit of the product, but it's going to give you ideas. So it gives you a cutting guide, just like our project recipes. And it tells you exactly which papers to use, exactly how to cut them, just like for National Scrapbook Day, when you have your extension for the additional paper pack and embellishments and all of that. So you've got all of your cutting guide first, and then it's going to show you how to assemble all those pieces to create a number of layouts. And this is mainly designed just to give you an idea, to get you going, and to inspire you to use the collection. It's not going to give you ideas for how to use every bit of the collection. So you will still have plenty to experiment with and use. If you go to a project guidebook is going to give you enough layouts to be able to use up every piece, or as many pieces as they possibly can, of that collection. So here we have Celebrations. Celebrations was an advisor only access pack, and the reason was so that we could offer classes and show you and teach you. And so here's the cutting guide for all the different papers in that pack, and then here is a layout to put together, and another layout to put together, and another layout to put together, and a card. So whoops, the card is back here. So a guidebook is going to show you how to use every bit of your collection with very minimal leftovers. A playbook is going to give you a few ideas to get you started. And a project recipe is going to give you enough information for you to do one layout at a time. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that has cleared up some of the different new things that we have out and about. The virtual crop sketches, you'll get 4 new ones of those each month, which you can add to your binder. The blog projects, though, you need to be subscribed to the CM blog. If you're not subscribed to the CM blog, you're missing out. There are so many ideas there from CM home office contributors that it's amazing. And they are typically done by advisors who have worked for the company for a really long time, and they will put out all kinds of ideas. I printed just a few and 3-hole punched them to put in here. This is the graduation one that just came out recently in March, and it's so cute. And they give you a finished picture of what the layout looks like. Chrislyn Matei made this one. They give you step-by-step instructions that are very clear and concise, and make it feel easy. All right. And so you can go in, and there's so many different ideas and so many wonderful things that you can create from the blog, from borders to full layouts. So If you're not subscribed to that yet, make sure you go to blog.creativememories.com and get signed up for the CM blog. You can subscribe and they will email you anytime something new like this comes out. They'll also email you every time the virtual crop starts so that you get all of those sketches in a timely manner and you can create them and submit them and be a part of the drawings for a free product. So that's also another cool advantage. Let me know if you have any questions about this or any input or suggestions of different ways that you organize your ideas for motivation at home, because we can always use new ideas for that. And I hope that you'll all look into getting one of these creative motivation binders, even if you create one on your own. Thanks so much for joining me. Until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Enjoy your day.